Hello viewers, a very good evening. You're watching 6 Stories at 6. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. And here are the headlines. Mamta Sports Minister quits over the Messi mess. The BJP says the minister should be arrested. Asks for accountability for the chaos which was created. Latest in the Goa fire tragedy, accused Luthra brothers dragged back to India to face the Indian law now. They were arrested by the Goa Police at the Delhi airport. Big ruckus erupts in Parliament. Congress slams Rega revamp. Centre says it is done to benefit the people. A Delhi court refuses to take note of ED's prosecution complaint against Gandhis. The BJP says no relief for the Gandhis. Latest on the Deepam controversy, Republic gets the final word on Deepam. Dargah secretary confirms lamp was being lit for many decades. And Delhi chokes. Delhi Environment Minister apologizes as national capital grapples with hazardous air quality. Blames Aam Aadmi Party for prevailing crisis. All right, latest from the Lionel Messi event fallout. The West Bengal Sports Minister Arup Biswas has stepped down from his post, citing the need for so-called unbiased investigation into the chaos that erupted during Lionel Messi's Kolkata appearance on December 13. The event, meant to be showcased for the city, was marred by severe crowd control lapses, VIP obstruction and significant damage to the Salt Lake Stadium. The opposition parties in West Bengal are demanding the arrest of Biswas and other officials, while TMC leaders argued the resignation is a very important step towards accountability. Take a look at this report for more.
In a surprising move, West Bengal Sports Minister Arup Biswas has stepped down from his position, and Mamata Banerjee has reportedly accepted the resignation right away. Arup resigned, citing the need for an unbiased investigation into the chaos that erupted during Lionel Messi's Kolkata visit on the 13th of December. The resignation follows widespread criticism over crowd control lapses, VIP obstruction and damage to the Salt Lake Stadium.
Shatadru Dotto, the organizer, very close to Saurav Ganguly, as claimed by Shatadru Dotto, can be arrested. Then why not Arup Biswas and Shujit Bosu, the two cabinet ministers? And specifically, let me tell you, Arup Biswas has not resigned as a cabinet minister as a whole. He has just been released from his duties in the sports ministry. Arup Biswas is still the power minister. Arup Biswas is still the housing minister. Very important position holding in the Bengal cabinet. So it's an IVOS that is being given by Mamata Banerjee.
Opposition parties in West Bengal have demanded arrests of Biswas and other officials.
দেখুন পদত্যাগপত্র অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে কী হবে, জেলে পাঠাতে হবে। শতদ্রু যদি জেলে যায় তাহলে এ কেন যাবে না? কিন্তু চেলা শতদ্রু তো বড়ে, আসল মালিক তো এ। তো শতদ্রু জেলে গেলে এদের দুজনকেও জেলে যেতে হবে, সুজিত বোস এবং অরূপ বিশ্বাস, এই দুজনকেই জেলে যেতে হবে।
Meanwhile, TMC leaders argue that the move is a step towards accountability. The state-appointed inquiry will examine security, access control and the role of organizer Shatadru Dotto, who has already been remanded to police custody. The fallout brings scrutiny on event management and political accountability by the ruling party Trinamool Congress in the state of West Bengal.
In a major breakthrough 10 days after the deadly fire engulfed the Birch club by Romeo Lane nightclub in Goa, the owners, Luthra brothers, have finally been dragged back to India. They were arrested upon landing in the national capital, and they will now face the Indian law. The Luthra brothers booked tickets to Phuket, Thailand, on the intervening night of December 6th and 7th, at a time when Goa Police and the fire services teams were engaged in rescue operations at the nightclub. The two were spotted during an outing in Phuket and detained from their hotel in Thailand following a request from India on December 11th. More in this report, as they are arrested upon touching Indian soil.
The chase for the Luthra duo by the Goa Police has finally come to an end after 10 days. The main accused of the 7 December nightclub fire in Goa will finally be brought to justice. After absconding, the Luthra brothers Saurabh and Gaurav have been deported from Phuket and dragged back on Indian soil. A formal arrest having been made. The fugitive brothers dodged the police after they were accused in the devastating fire incident in Goa's nightclub on the 6th of December that claimed 25 lives. They fled to Phuket just hours after the incident, citing they were there on work purposes. But later during the investigation, it was established that the brothers had the intent to avoid the investigation from the start. Acting on India's request, the Thai police detained the brothers from a resort in the Thai capital. After India had moved to suspend their passports, an FIR was also lodged against the brothers that stated that the accident was triggered due to a pyro gun show that brought security lapses to the fore. This also opened a series of investigations that led to the discovery of several corruption instances that allowed this fatal accident to happen, resulting in the arrest of 6 people and suspension of 3 higher officials so far. Despite knowing that the restaurant does not have emergency exit doors in the ground or deck floors for evacuation in an emergency, a fire show was organized.
That the alleged perpetrators of Goa fire tragedy and owners of Birch by Romeo Lane nightclub owners, Luthra brothers, are right now being deported back from Thailand to India. At the national capital, they're present at the international airport of Delhi in the custody of Goa Police team. We also know that this team is including of senior IPS officers, sub-inspector, inspectors and hawaldars. Now they'll be presented in the Patiala court in Delhi, and then the transit remand will be given to Goa Police. After that, they'll be brought back to the state of Goa around evening.
From a nightclub blaze to an international manhunt, the Luthra brothers are now back on Indian soil, and the road to justice in the Goa fire tragedy has now begun.
The NDA government's proposed Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin Bill 2025, which seeks to replace the Maganrega, was introduced into the parliament, leading to very sharp political confrontations. The Congress has strongly objected to the centre's move to replace Maganrega, saying that dropping Mahatma Gandhi's name exposes what it calls the hollowness of Prime Minister Modi's public tributes to the father of the nation. The government, however, says that the new law is all about reform. Take a look at this report as we keep getting you the latest.
The centre is set to introduce a new rural employment law in the Lok Sabha. Proposing to repeal the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act and replace it with the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Bill 2025. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi has slammed the move, accusing the government of diluting a demand-driven legal right to work and weakening the constitutional role of Gram Sabhas in rural decision-making. Taking on the centre further, Priyanka Gandhi flagged the financial and federal impact of the proposed law. She said that the centre is shifting the burden onto states by cutting its share of funding. Listen in.
आदरणीय अध्यक्ष महोदय जी, मैं नियम 72(1) के तहत इस विधेयक को पुनर्स्थापित करने पर अपनी सख्त आपत्ति दर्ज करना चाहती हूं। महात्मा गांधी ग्रामीण रोजगार गारंटी कानून पिछले 20 सालों से ग्रामीण भारत को रोजगार देने में और ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूत बनाने में सक्षम रहा है।
Responding to the opposition's objections, Kiren Rijiju said that procedural rules were being misused, asserting that objections can only be raised on legislative competence, as clarified by the Speaker. Listen in.
और ये भाग जाएंगे, ये सुनेंगे ना फिर भाग जाएंगे, चर्चा का मांग करता फिर भागेंगे, ऐसा नहीं होता है। जो देश हित में बिल पारित करना है वो तो हम पारित करके ही रहेंगे।
Meanwhile, senior Congress leader K. Venugopal launched a scathing attack on the centre, calling the move to replace Manrega as assault on constitution. This is what he had to say.
Basically, they are changing the name of Mahatma Gandhi. That is RSS agenda, basically. Their ideology killed Mahatma Gandhi. Now they want to remove Mahatma Gandhi name from everywhere. One thing. Number two, the ratio between center and state is completely changing. Now it has become 60-40. That means entire burden is coming to the state government, basically. Means this project is going to be affected. Therefore, I think their agenda is to finish Manrega.
Responding to the opposition's charge that the government is erasing Mahatma Gandhi's legacy, Shivraj Singh Chauhan defended the proposed law, saying that the focus is not on names but on strengthening welfare delivery and expanding support for the poorest sections of the society.
हम केवल महात्मा गांधी जी को मानते नहीं हैं, हम महात्मा गांधी जी की भी मानते हैं और उन्हीं के विचारों पर आधारित, पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय जी के विचारों पर आधारित गरीब कल्याण की कई योजनाएं ये सरकार मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में चला रही है। और जहां तक मनरेगा का सवाल है, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, कांग्रेस तो यूपीए तो केवल मनरेगा लेके आई थी, लेकिन 2,13,220 करोड़ रुपया यूपीए की सरकार ने मनरेगा पर खर्च किए थे। हमने 8,53,810 करोड़ रुपया गरीबों के कल्याण के लिए खर्च किए और इस योजना को और मजबूत करने की कोशिश की।
The bill seeks to replace Manrega with a revamped framework aimed at aligning rural employment and development with the national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. It has been listed in the supplementary list of businesses issued on Monday. With the government pitching the bill as reform under the Viksit Bharat mission, the Congress is calling it an ideological assault on the poor and the constitution itself. What the BJP calls restructuring, the opposition brands as erasure of Mahatma Gandhi's legacy. The bill has now set the stage for a fierce political and parliamentary showdown.
Well, the viewers, ED today presented a charge sheet in Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court in the National Herald case, a major money laundering suit against the Gandhis. The charge sheet was rejected on technical grounds. However, the ED is set to challenge the special court order. Now, the BJP said that the order was neither a setback for the ED nor any relief for the Gandhis, stressing that the court has made no comments on the merits of the case. However, the Congress said the court ruled that the ED's case could not proceed in the absence of an FIR. Here's more.
A money laundering suit that began in 2012, the National Herald case continues to shadow the Gandhi family. The Enforcement Directorate today presented a charge sheet in Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court in the National Herald case. The charge sheet stems from a complaint by BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy. However, it was rejected by the court on technical grounds. The ED charge sheet was rejected on grounds that PMLA can't be filed suo motu. However, ED says that the order is based only on technical grounds and does not comment on the merit of the case. Sources tell Enforcement Directorate will challenge the special court order, signalling to continue investigation.
There is no doubt about the fact that there is partial relief that has been given to the Gandhis right now. With the charge sheet being rejected by the Delhi court purely on procedural grounds, there is relief, because otherwise, if at all, they would have the court would have taken cognizance of the charge sheet, which would mean that the charges would be framed and thereafter the trial would have begun. Right now, it just means that a few steps backwards with the economic offences wing stepping in and the entire probe essentially beginning.
though the Congress attempts to put ED under scrutiny, the allegations against Gandhi family are much too grave to be overlooked. National Herald case stems from acquisition of shares of AGL worth of rupees 2,000 crores by Young India Limited in just rupees 50 lakhs, an unheard of profit of around 4 lakh%. AGL was the parent company of the National Herald newspaper, an initiative of Jawaharlal Nehru before independence. However, AGL was facing massive losses when it was acquired by Young India Limited, a company set up with Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi as 76% shareholders.
This is not the relief of Madam Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi. This court has been exposed the illegal, malified, political targeting of Narendra Modi government through this judgment. The Day one onward, they are targeting the opposition, especially Sonia ji and Rahul ji, without any legal background, without anything wrong done. They are targeting. Now, our stand is clearly vindicated.
While ED has reiterated the court order being passed on technical grounds and not on merit, Congress seems to have construed it as a major relief.
This is a very weird case where there is not a millimeter movement of money, not a millimeter movement of immovable property. All the properties remain with AJL, and yet there is money laundering. AJL is now owned 90% by another company, Young India. That is all that has happened. Not-for-profit companies are made every time to make one company debt-free. Every corporate in India is doing it. To make my company debt-free, I can have a transfer of shares. But Young Indian Company is a very remarkable company. It's a not-for-profit company where all the directors, Karthigai ji, Sonia ji, late Motilal Vora ji, etc., etc., not one of them can get 1 paisa dividend, even if they want to give a dividend. So today the judgment is significant because cognizance is the lowest form of dealing with the case.
ED sources today called it a clear-cut case of money laundering as massive financial jugglery was alleged with suspicious transaction of over 2,000 crore rupees. With grave allegations of money laundering, the National Herald case, older than a decade, continues trailing close behind Gandhi's.
Viewers, the Deepam controversy has also reached a flashpoint. In a very dramatic courtroom developments were seen today. Madras High Court heard the fierce arguments over faith, land, history and public order, even as the Dargah itself broke silence, calling for unity and declaring that the issue was never about the lamp.
As the controversy over Karthigai Deepam escalates, Republic has got the final word on the controversy. The Tiruparankundram Dargah secretary has confirmed that the lamp has been lit for decades, emphasizing on Hindu-Muslim unity. The Dargah chief stated that the dispute revolves around the location, with the Dargah claiming the stone pillar is on their land, granted in 1920.
பல நூற்றாண்டு காலமாக அங்கே எந்த ஒரு பிரச்சனையும் இல்லாமல் இந்துக்களும் முஸ்லீம்களும் ஒன்றா இருந்து வழிபட்டுக்கிட்டு வரோம். இந்துக்கள் அவங்களுடைய வழிபாட்டு செய்கிறாங்க, நாங்கள் எங்கள் முஸ்லீம் எங்கள் வழிபாடு செய்கிறோம். எங்களுக்குள்ள எந்த ஒரு கருத்து வேறுபாடும் இல்லை. இப்போ வந்து இந்த இந்து மக்கள் இந்து முன்னணி கட்சி தான் இவங்க தான் வந்து தீபம் வந்து தர்கா அருகிலே ஏற்றி ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு மதக்கலவரம் உண்டாக்குறக்காண்டி ஒரு திட்டமிட்ட செயல் பண்ணி அது பண்ணுறாங்க. அது பல வருஷமாக வந்து முயற்சி பண்ணாங்க. அது தமிழக அரசு கவர்மெண்ட்டால் அது வந்து போலீஸோடைய பாதுகாப்போட அவங்கள வந்து அதை வந்து அந்த இதுக்கு இடம் கொடுக்கல. ஆனால் இப்போ திடீர்னு ஒரு ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் வாங்கிட்டு வந்து அதை நிறைவேற்றுறாங்க. அந்த ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவசரமாக தர்கா சார்பில் எந்த ஒரு கேள்வியும் கேட்கப்படலை. உங்களுக்கு இதில் மறுப்பு இருக்கா, சம்மந்தம் இருக்கா, சம்மந்தம் இல்லையான்னு கூட கேட்காம அவசரமாக வந்து ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தாங்க. நாங்கள் அவசரமாக வந்தோன்னா நாங்களும் ஒரு 2 உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் வந்து ஒரு மூத்த வழக்கறிஞர்களை போட்டு நாங்கள் வாதாடினோம். எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கையை சொன்னோம். அதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு டைம் கூட கொடுக்கல. எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கையை சொல்லி கூட டைம் கொடுக்காம அவசரமாக ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட் சொன்னாங்க. அந்த ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட்டில் வந்து ஆல்ரெடி நிறைய ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட்டில் வந்து 1920, 31, 58, 62, 78 94 14 17 இப்படி நிறைய ஜட்ஜ்மெண்ட்டில் வந்து அந்த மாதிரி எதுவுமே அங்கே வந்து தீபம் ஏற்றுன்ற ஒரு இது கொடுக்கல. புதுசாக ஏற்றுனால அதில் வந்து தமிழக அரசு ரொம்ப கவனம் எடுத்து இதில் ஒரு பெரிய லாண்ட் ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குன்ட்டு அதை வந்து நடைமுறைப்படுத்த விடலை.
Meanwhile, a survey of the hilltop land, which is the center of the controversy, has been demanded by the Tamil Nadu Waqf Board to the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court. The board claims that the famed Deatined stands on the Dargah property. The board also highlighted that the flag post has been alongside it for over 80 years, asserting long-standing occupancy.
The appeals and petitions at the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court on the Deepam row of Tirupurakuram continues for day 2. This comes after multiple appeals and petitions came against Judge G.R. Swaminathan's, the single-bed judge, notice to light the lamp on the Deepatun on the hilltop. However, now the two-bed judge is taking up the case and multiple petitions being heard, with multiple actions coming in from the government, the Dargah side, even the Waqf Board pointing out that it is not a Deepatun but it's a survey land conducted during the British time and it was built at that point of time. There is one more point kept by the temple administration telling that it is a pillar that was used to light the lamps, but it was the Jain who did that and not the Hindus. And now there's also another point telling that the temple had it as a Deepatun in 1992 but never followed the practice. Multiple versions of single pillar coming and the court is yet to decide on what the final answer would be. And tomorrow being the final verdict under Judge G.R. Swaminathan, the District Collector of Madurai, the Police Commissionerate of the city, and also through video call there will be the ADGP of the Law and Order of the Tamil Nadu state and including the Chief Secretary will be attending it. Maybe the Tripuram coup will come to an end by tomorrow when the final judgment is given.
The Waqf Board also called the lighting of the lamp ritual as non-existent. The board argued that there was no proven custom of lighting the Karthigai Deepam at the stone pillar as early as 1982. Questioning how the single judge spoke of restoring a tradition that, according to records, never existed. He argued the dispute is not about faith, but about title, access and easement rights, which can only be decided by a civil court, not through a writ petition. The board also pointed to an earlier civil court decree that had effectively partitioned the hillock, allotting specific areas to both communities. Stressing upon that the steps and access routes fall under Dargah control and argue that the very term Deepatun was coined for the first time in a single judge ruling. Raising the stakes further, senior advocate Vikas Singh, appearing for district and police authorities, warned of serious public order consequences. He argued there is no fundamental or statutory right to light a lamp at the disputed pillar and cautioned that allowing lakhs of devotees onto narrow hillsides near a dargah could trigger chaos. A lamp, a hill, and a history of coexistence now under judicial scrutiny. As the High Court weighs law against legacy, the fate of Tirupurankundram's fragile harmony hangs in the balance.
Viewers, as a thick, choking smog blankets the capital, residents are sharing their frustration over the toxic air that's affecting health and daily life. And today, the Delhi Environment Minister, Majinder Singh Sirsa, apologized to the public and said that Rekha Gupta government is working hard to fix the problem. Yet he added that it's impossible for any government to reduce AQI in 9 or 10 months. Tensions also boiled over at the Lionel Messi event where the crowd booed the CM and chanted AQI, AQI, underscoring how the capital's air crisis has become a public spectacle. Take a look at this report for more.
Be it any government, air quality across the national capital continues to deteriorate. New Delhi's AQI has stood in poor to severe category since the start of the winter season. The residents and tourists alike have time and again complained about the poor air quality and its effect on health.
पॉल्यूशन की स्थिति बहुत ज़्यादा गंभीर है, सांस लेने में बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है। मैं तो कल शाम को ही आया हूँ दिल्ली, इंदौर से स्टडी करता हूँ, इंदौर ही पढ़ता हूँ मैं। इंदौर के मुकाबले यहाँ मेरे को ऐसा सांस लेने में बहुत तकलीफ हो रही है और गला दुख रहा है, बहुत ऐसा अटपटा लग रहा है बहुत ऐसे।
Delhi's Environment Minister Majinder Singh Sirsa made a public surrender today. apologizing to the people, stating that the Rekha Gupta government is working hard to fix the issue. But while apologizing, he also added that it is impossible for any elected government to reduce the AQI in 9 to 10 months.
Closing of all that polluting industries, putting industries out of Delhi, putting the building norms in a strict format where no dust mitigation should be there, clean the roads with the roads MRS so that the no dust is there. So all those kind of the emissions has to be controlled. All those vehicles without PUCC has to be cleared. All that traffic coming outside from Delhi, from Haryana, UP, Punjab, other Madhya Pradesh, other states, has to be strictly with the compliance of Delhi norms.
Not gung-ho anymore, the Delhi Chief Minister sought to convey that AQI2 is a legacy left by the AAP government.
चाहे जल भराव हो दिल्ली का, चाहे प्रदूषण हो, पिछली सरकारों के दुष्कर्मों का प्रभाव दिल्ली की जनता भुगत रही है, जिसे हम अपनी ओर से पूरा प्रयास करके ठीक करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। रिजल्ट आएगा, रिजल्ट आने में थोड़ा टाइम लग सकता है, चाहे पॉल्यूशन के हम जितने मेजरमेंट आज कर रहे हैं, आज से हम जब सड़कें हमने ठीक करनी शुरू करी, आज से जब हमने मिस लगानी शुरू करी, आज से जब हमने बाकी सब मेजरमेंट करने शुरू किए, तो उसका रिजल्ट आते आते टाइम लगेगा। पर ये अगर पिछली सरकारों ने 10 साल 15 साल की कांग्रेस की सरकार और 11 साल की आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार ने अगर कुछ किया होता तो दिल्ली को ये दिन नहीं देखना पड़ता।
This came after Delhi reportedly recorded the most polluted day of the season with an AQI of 461 a day before the event. This was the second worst AQI in December since 2015. On the other hand, Singapore, United Kingdom and Canada High Commission in New Delhi issued an air pollution advisory for its nationals in the Delhi NCR region after stage 4 of GRAP was announced. The blame game between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP rages on, leaving residents and tourists alike to bear the brunt of a problem that has lingered for decades.
And viewers, that's all we have on 6 Stories at 6. I'm Shivangi Shukla signing off. We'll be back tomorrow, same time and same place. Next, we'll go live and breaking with my colleague Shavan Sen.